Hello and welcome. It is Friday night and it is 10:30. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Hopefully the audio is working, unlike on Tuesday night when we had a disaster. Um, Let me know in chat if you can hear me clearly. In the meantime, we will go to our live scene. Hopefully that technology is working as well. Greetings. Thank you very much for tuning in. As I said, it is Friday night and we are about to do our very first episode of Gardens of Shedaklah. Um, Gardens of Shedaklah is our most unusual setting, a place that we have never covered before. Um, I'm just making sure that people can actually hear me in chat. Can you hear me? Because nobody said hello yet. Right, thank you, Brooks. Thank you for confirming you can hear me. I was getting I was getting a little bit worried there for a moment with the tech problems that we had. We are unfortunately missing one of our players tonight. Has been called out on a matter of work urgency, but hopefully we will meet him in our episode 2. So, without further ado, some big hellos and thank yous first. Thank you to everybody who is viewing and in chat. Keep us busy with that. Keep chatting. Keep letting us know what you think. Secondly, thanks to all of the people that have liked and subbed. Um, it really makes a big difference, so we really appreciate all the support. And thirdly, thank you to you players for jumping on board. Without you, we literally couldn't run the game. So let us introduce you. This is just the players first, and then we will move on to the characters once we start the game proper. So Jacko Y89, please introduce yourself.
Yes, hello. So I was interested. Yes, that's me. I am Boppet. Boppet is a little kobold, sort of dark reddish skin, amber eyes with just
Jack,
sort of a black slit.
we're more interested in you at the moment than your character. We'll do your
Me
yeah. We want to know who
specifically.
you are. We want to see
Oh,
the face behind Boppet first.
oh, crikey. Okay, I mean
I mean,
that's certainly less
I
interesting.
mean, all we really need to know is your name is Jack. You don't have to give us your PIN number or anything like that. As much or as little as you want to tell us about yourself.
Sure.
But if you
Yeah,
do want to
Jack.
email me your PIN number, that'll be good.
Yeah, I mean, most people. I'm in about 300 of Andy's games at the moment, so
Literally.
yeah, I'm about to join the 301st. So looking forward to this campaign.
Welcome aboard, Jack. It's really good
Thank
to
you.
have you in this project. And then we can move to Doug Force.
Hello, I am Doug. I play in another one of Andy's campaigns, and I also DM a couple of groups of my own.
Awesome stuff. And I'm very, very much looking forward to obviously tonight's game, but also looking forward to tomorrow's game, which is set in the fabulous world of Critical Role. And then finally, for the moment, as I say, we are missing a player tonight. We have Pete. Pete Gosden. Do you want to quickly introduce yourself?
Yep, I'm Pete. I run a club down near Leicester. We have usually got, when we haven't got pandemics on, we have 3 or 4 games a week on Monday nights. But I've been playing a couple of games with Andy because we can do that over the internet nowadays.
We certainly can.
I'm a great fan of Antarctic exploration. One of the reasons that I've joined this game is because I love the stories of Shackleton's adventures in Antarctica. So we're going to see what happens.
Yeah, hopefully I can kind of do it justice. Excellent stuff. So that is our players for the moment. One final big thank you we need to do is to Hero Forge as we always do this, the character images that you can see are designed from their website, and they have very kindly gave us permission to use them. So many of the character images are designed using Hero Forge, a wonderful way to create your own custom miniatures and get them 3D printed. You can find them at www.heroforge.com. Please note that anything mentioned on the stream may not represent the view or beliefs of Hero Forge, a Sky Castle Studios LLC product. Yeah, if you don't know them, please go check them out. It's amazing fun creating your characters on there, and there are so many options and choices. It's absolutely fantastic. So with that done, let us delve deep into the gardens of Shedaklah, or rather the journey to the gardens. This is one of the few settings that we don't start directly at the setting. So far removed is it, so remote, and according to some of the characters, it may not even exist. We find ourselves traveling towards the gardens rather than in the gardens themselves. And boy, has it been one arduous journey. The ship known as the Tireless, captained by Captain Clarence Ortez, has been on the seas for over 3 months now, traveling from Europa to Frontier, then heading from Frontier south to the Scraplands, and then even further south to the ice fields that surround, protect, and hide the location known as the Gardens. It has been a arduous journey. It has been long. It has not been without its problems, storms, pirates. But for the last month, it is the endless and ever increasing cold that has been sapping the very strength and life, spirit and soul out of the ship. The Tireless has come across frozen seas that it's had to navigate around, finding thinner ice to break through. Now it is land in sight, something that all of the settlers, and including our players, are only too pleased to see. As we like to do, though, we like a cinematic opening, and as if it is the start of a movie, the camera pans around upon the ship, icicles forming upon the rigging. It is so cold. But with land in sight and the cry, "Land ahoy!" it begins to stir and wake some of our protagonists. The first one to sort of wake will be you, Timenareth. Camera pans down upon you. What does it see? Where are you? What do you look like?
The camera would probably see Timenareth emerging from whatever below decks bunk that his ticket has bought him. You would see a figure who is elven in stature and features, but strangely a green colour of skin, with white hair tied back in a ponytail but shaved up the sides. A look of excitement and maybe even a small skip or a jig in his step as he emerges onto the deck, to rushing forward to look over the railings to spy the land as it approaches.
Yeah, and as you kind of look over, you can see not so much land as solid ice, a large ice shelf looming a distance away, and between you and it is this churning sea of ice broken up, large lumps and chunks of ice smashing together. Uh, Not only would you be crushed if you fell overboard, probably the cold would kill you almost instantly. It is so cold on here, and your shaved head is the first to catch it. But it's still land, and it is a joy to see. The camera pulls away and begins to focus on Edius. What does it see? Edius, you are asleep or awake?
He's busy. He's busy working,
Busy
also on
working.
mute, which didn't help.
I was filling
So
for
he
you
was,
then.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, he's been working away. He's not a rich guy. He's comes from the white. He comes from the far north, and he has felt traumatized. He's moved to the other end of the world to be exploring, and he'd actually been down this far before once. And on his way home, he heard a bit these stories about these gardens. So he's managed to get himself a berth on this ship by working. So he's been helping out. He's kind of watching the ice arrive as they drift towards it slowly. Been enjoying the easy bit as they were riding through the pancake ice on the way south, and now they've got into the real business.
Yeah.
There's lots of work to be done, keeping the bigger blocks of ice away from the ship, stuff like that. So he's been very busy and is just relieved now that when they get to the ice shelf, there'll be a little bit of rest.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. Um, the easy bit's done. The closer you get to your location is the more dangerous. Any of these shells of ice at any point can slip, falling into the sea. This is where you have to take particular care. Your sharp eyes, though, pick out there is what seems to be a landing spot, small and not even the sign of a small number of sort of huts, shacks, snow holes, and the like. You have been here before. It is a starting point. Um, doesn't feel quite like home, but nothing looks untoward at the moment. And then finally, for now, the camera moves on to Bop It. What does the camera see?
Yeah, so picking up from a few minutes ago, so like I said, he's a kobold with sort of reddish, scaly skin. He's got very sort of basic clothing, just sort of like a tatty sort of whitish brown shirt and sort of some baggy cotton trousers. He's as he's getting up, he's popping on like a pair, like some sort of like half broken wooden dragon wings on his back, and he's currently just sat on his bed, just guarding his stuff, which isn't really a great deal. Just a bag with a few little bits in it, but he's just sat there with his hand on it.
Perfect. And below decks, it's crowded, and there's a degree of apprehension. Everybody is covered with warm clothes. Some people quite obviously haven't brought enough. They were told it was going to be cold, but this is beyond normal cold. We're talking quite possibly about 20 plus souls here. Some children, men and women. But there is a degree of apprehension and excitement as the ship begins to make its final approach towards this wooden jetty of sorts. To give you an idea of what it looks like, as you finally manage to skillfully pull in, it kind of looks like this. It's quite a nice visual. It's freezing cold. There is this jetty made that goes onto the mainland, as it were, and a small number of settlements. A degree of time passes as people begin to disembark. Edius, I mean, you sort of pass your professional eye over some of these settlers. You're not sure whether they're going to make it in some of the clothing that they've got here. It barely counts as cold weather clothing, and as I said, this is substantially colder than cold weather. I don't know.
Ortiz is on deck, yeah, Captain Ortiz.
Yeah. He's
I'm
there.
I'm gonna catch him before I leave.
I'm going to miss you. You're good. Are you sure? Are you really sure you want to do this? Does it work for you?
Yeah, I kind of gotta do it. I gotta do it.
It exists, you know.
You know, a lot of these people are gonna die, and I keep telling you this, and you still take their money.
Hey, it's business.
I know.
They've paid to
Doesn't
come
mean I have
here.
to like it.
Well, why don't you sort them out some clothes then?
Yeah. The ice will sort them out.
Yeah, it will. You never know, one or two of them might have some interesting trinkets on them. Consider that your bonus. And he smiles.
Hey, I hope I'll see you soon. I don't know how long it'll be. I don't know where you'll be, but if you're down here, maybe I'll be coming back one day.
Well, I have a little business with. There's a guide. I'm not going to just let you wander the wastes. I'm going to make a few introductions for you.
I'll be okay. It's summer.
Yeah, whatever. He kind of pulls his massive bear cloak over his shoulders. And then he kind of stands on a box. Right. Your passage been paid for. You are here. There is someone you might be interested in speaking with. I have an arrangement with them. But it is up to you. If you wish, if it is too cold, you want to give me the same amount of coin that got you here to take you home. Now's your chance. And he smiles. I won't be back again for a while, so make your decisions fast. In the meantime, you can meet me. There's a large snow hole. You'll see it. I'll be in there talking to a guide. He kind of gives orders to the crew to begin to prep the ship, and he leaves. One of the individuals says, "Captain, we didn't realise it's going to be so cold. How close are the gardens? I don't." He says, "Speak with the guide. Do you have enough coin to get you back?" Nods his head in a negative way. Well, looks like you're on your own then. And uncaringly, he leaves the boat, heading towards a large, kind of half-buried, half-igloo-esque kind of structure on the mainland. Obviously, the three of you have spent a fair amount of time together. You do realise that if anybody is going to survive this expedition, it's probably the three of you. You seem to have a little bit of wherewithal amongst you, about you, whereas these 20 odd souls are just settlers looking for a new life somewhere else. Do you want to do anything? Do you want to intervene, or are you just going to head to see where the captain is going with this guide?
Yeah,
I
he
think
just wants to go for the guide.
Yeah. As Aegeus goes to move off, I think Tymenereth will just sort of tap him on the shoulder and be like, "Is this normal? Do we just leave these people, or what's the standard formula here?"
The standard formula is you don't come here unless you're expecting to be living in a freezer while you're here.
Oh.
I don't know what all these jokes are about these gardens, but these people have come. They're chasing a dream. There's not going to be anything warmer than this ice. And some of these people will die because of it.
Oh.
I think
Oh,
as long as we get you a decent hat, we'll probably make you get you through it. But
yes, I must confess, the ends of the ears are feeling slightly numb. But
Edius is a very shaggy of facial hair and head, and has a very fetching bobble hat.
Yeah, so okay, well, it'll sort of turn to some of the settlers that are getting off the boat alongside us, be like, "Oh well, good luck. It was a pleasure to spend time with you all. Don't worry, you'll all be recorded in my chronicles."
Are you not going to the gardens too? I see someone shivering.
Oh, certainly. I wasn't sure that you were.
Well, yeah. That's the whole point. We can't live here. There's this promised land. These gardens, beautiful. Gardens are lovely, aren't they? I mean, it needs warmth. It must be better than here. That's what we've come for.
Oh, well, similarly. And I'll turn to look back at Edius and say, some of us have more faith in our destination than others, though. The chronicles and your stories then shall continue.
Let's go and find this guide. Edius is going to stomp off.
They gather their meager possessions, everything that they now have left after spending quite possibly their life savings on this 3-month journey south. They move kind of along, sort of following certainly both of you two, along the sort of quay, out onto the mainland and into this large kind of snow hole. And as you get in, at least you're out of the cold wind. The wind chill here is, again, probably one of the fastest ways to die. And you see the captain talking to an individual covered in what appears to be sort of layers of hides, sort of a fur sort of edge to their hood, pulled tightly over their face, heavily gloved. And you see that this individual passes the captain a bag. The captain nods and smiles, and he kind of points. This is Tijuana. She is happy to take you to the gardens. If you want to survive, I would recommend listening to her every word. With that, he says, I wish you all the best. If anybody does want a return journey, now's the time to speak up, provided you have the coin. He pauses for a few moments, kind of laughs, chuckles to himself as no one really knows what to do. He kind of weighs the bag and then heads off back towards the Tireless. What is Boppet doing at the moment?
Boppet will have, once people start making their way out, there'll just be a quick twirl of the spear, which then sort of slides onto his back, and then just start heading just towards the guide. as he is ready to sort of start heading across.
Okay. There's a whole host, a gaggle of these settlers around this guide at the moment, all sort of asking multiple questions. She kind of raises her hand for silence. It will be dangerous, without a doubt. Some of you will not make it. You need to know this. Some of you will, though, and the one thing that I can most definitely assure you is the gardens are real. I will guide you to them, and there you will meet a much better life. So, we have time on our side. It is light here, light for much of the day. This gives us opportunity to make time. From what I have heard, you have been on a ship for many months. What better time than to set off soon? I will give you an hour if there are any items they sell here: snowshoes, cloaks, warm weather clothing, anything that you might want to survive. The prices I do not know much about, but it depends how much you value your lives. Buy what you want, buy what you need, and then come to me. We leave on the hour. And she kind of nods. And there's a whole sort of cacophony of other questions, but she kind of more or less ignores them and goes across and sits at a table, waiting. Does anybody want to do anything?
Yeah, I think Boppet's become very unprepared for this. He's literally just in sort of like a baggy vest. So he's just going to have a look at wherever the guide pointed to that sells various warm items and just sort of toddle along to it.
Okay. Boom, boom, boom. It's good to see that you've done all of your monies as well. That's okay. You are very unprepared. Very, very, very.
I can. I am.
It's
yeah.
okay.
Sorry,
No. It's cool. It's very in character.
There we go.
So yeah. So it's not so much of a shop or a trading place. There are piles of clothing and gear. Quite possibly, some may be constructed here, but most likely taken off dead people. Basically, it looks like the remains and remnants of people that haven't survived down here. There is a dwarf that seems to be sort of selling the items, and he seems to be in a very sort of haggling mood. He has a big sort of reddish beard, but age has kind of tempered it with sort of grey. He has a bald head, but one of those hats with flaps on, large gloves. He's not taking any chances even in here. It's freezing cold. Right, a little one. Yeah. What is it that you need?
And Boppet's going to just start heading towards the pile of stuff, like hands ready to go. And he's go, "Hello, mate. Right, I just need. It's bloody cold up here, isn't it? What do I need?"
Well, layers. That is the secret.
Edius has bumbled along to this place just to watch the people.
Uh-huh.
If he sees anything that he thinks is suitable for the little dragon, then he'll suggest stuff.
Give me a survival roll. I mean, this is kind of your area of skill, so the DC is not massive. So 17 plus the 118 is perfect. Yeah, you can kind of choose. This dwarf is telling the truth. You want layers of good. Snowshoes are definitely going to help as well. Obviously, a hat and gloves. You don't really want to leave any of your skin exposed. And you kind of go through all of this and you kind of sort out. Because of the size of Boppet, you think some of the items that you are pulling out are obviously children's items. Some of the youngsters brought down here that haven't made it. Um, and
Lovely.
it seems very much like the dwarf is more than happy to cut some deals. Right. So it is an entire outfit,
Yes, please.
but we can do this. Uh, I'm guessing you want to pay in coin.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. 2 gold. All of that yours. It will keep you alive.
And Buppet will get his bag out and fetch a little leather pouch. Get a couple of golds out and just throw it to him and go, thank you
He
very
catches it.
much.
He kind of weighs it and he kind of bites it. Yeah, that's good. And he kind of puts it away. Yeah, that has increased your chances tenfold. Very sensible.
Cool.
I think at that point, Tymenereth would probably appear over his shoulder and just be like, oh yes, this looks like the right stuff. A few months on a boat seems about time for a wardrobe change, I think. What would you recommend, Master Dwarf?
Well, for the sake of repeating myself, layers. Layers
Oh.
are good. But your companion here has got a good eye as well if he does not trust me. And he starts pulling stuff out. It's not so much about the fashion. It's more about surviving down here.
So as he's putting the stuff out, I think Tymenereth's face will kind of get a little bit downcast. He'll say, "Is there anything with a splash of colour?"
Yes. Yes. He kind of roots through. This came in recently. Kind of pulls out what is kind of a large poncho. Again, it's hide, but it has been decorated with pigments, sort of splashed. This, I believe, belonged to a shaman, a priest of nature. Yeah, didn't do him very good, but it's colourful.
Yeah, colour won't keep you warm, Elf.
Oh no,
but it looks pretty. It looks pretty, very pretty.
Well, I like to think that one can do both. If one's going to discover a new world, maybe it's good to look good while you do it.
A word of warning: the designs on there are from a specific tribe, local. You wearing it, they may take a little offence to. I'm sure you can look after yourself, though, eh? I'll do it half price. Yeah, it is colourful.
Right. Well, that and maybe a couple of layers to go underneath. And
oh yeah, yeah.
Shoes as well. They
You, you don't want to be naked underneath that poncho.
No.
Anything that sticks out will drop off.
Well, and we would not want that.
People need their fingers, don't they, and their noses.
Indeed. So you, obviously being here, you're aware of the revelation of the gardens as they're known. I am here to chronicle and return to more civilized lands with tales.
Right.
More people this way. There could be a place for you in my chronicles, if you know what I mean.
Not really. Your fancy words have somewhat addled my mind. But You're trying to cut a deal, I guess.
Oh, well, I mean, you cut to the quick of it, sir, indeed.
I'm a dwarf. I like cutting to the quick of it, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
So, yeah, I mean, traffic has been getting busier. All seems to be one way. I've just taken it as no one really gets to the gardens and dies on the journey. That said, your guide has been backwards and forwards, not brought anybody back. She seems to say that they like it there. So it'd be
Mm.
interesting to see whether you return. But what you're saying is that if you do return to spread the word of my business, you need to survive, which means that you need the best and the warmest of gear.
Mm. Such as maybe words to the effect of the South's foremost proponent of cold-resistant clothing.
That's right, fancy words again there.
Mm.
But I'm assuming that you're not trying to insult me. So yes, I'll agree with you.
Ah, wonderful. And so what would be the cost then?
Give me a persuasion roll. Great
Uh,
role playing.
Persuasion.
Yeah, it's good. He's kind of, you've sold him on the idea that if you do return from the gardens and somehow make your way back to civilization, you will spread the words of his little shop. And he says, I'll do you half off. So for your thing there, it's bigger than the little ones, so it would have been 4, but I'll do it for 2 as well. Although I was going to give you a bit of discount off the shaman's cloak because you don't believe in luck anyway, do you? You make your own luck. I can see that in your face.
Indeed.
And if you don't believe in luck, you most definitely wouldn't believe in bad luck. So I'll do it at half price for you. So we'll say gold and 5 silver.
Ah, wonderful. Very good deal. Thank you very much.
I'll try and keep him alive for you so he can sing songs about you when he gets home.
I would very much appreciate that.
Well, I will take these. It's very pleasurable doing business with you, Master Dwarf. If for my chronicles, if I might ask your name.
Yes, my name is Granite Tooth.
Granite.
Because of this, and he kind of opens his mouth, showing you that one of his teeth has been replaced with what appears to be kind of a small brick of granite.
Ha! Well, that is something I have never seen before, sir. A well-earned name.
It is good. If you want to, if you consider me friend, you can call me Granny. Most people do.
Well,
You see that there's a degree of squabble with the rest of them as they seem to band together really and kind of start trying to work out who's got what money. They know leaving this place without any kind of real warm clothes is just going to mean they're going to die, and they desperately are gathering their coins together. And their spokesman sort of moves forward and sort of tries to cut a deal. It doesn't look like it's going particularly their way though. He's kind of, please look, this is literally all we've got. We need some clothes for the more vulnerable and the children. He's going, look, I want to help you out, but there's discount, then there's just giving it away for free.
Edius might step up at this point.
Yep.
You say, you're going to get some of it back for free. Why don't you cut them a deal? And he's going to poke his maul up onto his shoulder.
That sounds good. Is that an
like to roll an
intimidation?
intimidation.
Yeah, it sounds very much like you want to intimidate Granny here. A 10.
Not great.
It's this is a trader. I mean, again, we are playing Dungeons and Dragons, but this is quite obviously a dwarven trader that's had quite good business here. It's a
It's a
hard
very
life.
big moor.
Yeah, absolutely. So he kind of nods and look, I don't want any trouble, and to be honest, you're quite right. Uh, you're quite right. Give us what you've got. Just take what you want. Best of luck to you. And he just gathers, and you see he has uh, no morals about taking the rest of their pittance of money off them. But he does let them just take whatever's left, and all the remnants of the furs and the hides are distributed amongst these other people. All of this does,
Thaddeus nods at him and says, "Thank you."
like you say, uh, they're not going to make it far. It's the way down here, you know that. They shouldn't have come. All these fancy tales. I have no idea what her game is. He kind of points to the guide. The more that come, and no one returns. He kind of
Hopefully,
sighs.
I'll be back. I'll let you know what I find.
I look forward to it. Make sure you look after that one. He's promised to write about me. You got my name?
Ah, yes, Granny, or Granite Tooth.
Yeah, people call me Granny. It's with an I, though. I'm not like an old woman. I don't want you saying that I'm an old woman.
No, fear not. You will,
Granny.
yeah, Granny with an I. You will come across as a true champion of those who are venturing forth into these snowy wastes.
Yeah, well, don't put too much about me being generous. I don't want everybody coming here for discounts.
Ah, okay, balance. I see.
All right. Anyway, she looks like she's got itchy feet. It's been about an hour now, and she's kind of looking at everybody, kind of nods and says, right. Like I said, there is no night and day here at the moment. It is day. You'll find this difficult. It'll be difficult to sleep. It'll be difficult. You'll lose track of time. But it is important that we find time to rest. This land will drain you of life. It will sap your strength. And there are dangers. So all of you, make sure you're alert. Keep those eyes sharp. And with that, she begins to move out. There is this gaggle of settlers that follow her. I'm assuming you three also follow.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the back. The wolves when they travel, they make sure they have a tough one at the back.
Mm-hmm. This is good. She says, sort of shrugging. She pulls her hood tighter and makes sure that her gloves are on. She's got very little equipment with her, mainly a couple of packs and what appears to be, in effect, a shovel. She has got snowshoes on, and she's perfectly fully covered for this environment. And without further ado, she turns back and says, "Listen, if you fall behind, I'm not coming back for you. Make sure you keep up." And she begins to walk off into the bright light, the glare from the sun off the white blue ice is dazzling, and it it hurts. If you were used to the Underdark, if you had sunlight sensitivity, I'm just saying,
Just hypothetically.
just hypothetically, it
Mhm.
is terrible. Terrible. Are you suffering with that, Boppet?
Boppet will be. I think he, when it first started, there was a, chest puffed out, sort of little legs trotting right as next to the to the guide as possible, but legs slowing down a little bit. The sunlight hitting him on the face, starting to flag a little as he sort of does his coat up. So you can literally probably just about see his eyes over like through his face, but that's about it.
Okay, no worries. So, I'd like to say the first couple of days are easy, but they're not. They are once again arduous. It seems that Tequina is relentless in the walking, and she trudges not at a fast pace, but at a constant pace. And she seems to move for about 8 hours. Then she digs what appears to be snow holes for herself, but is more than happy to share this spade. Um, and it's hard going. You see that at the start of the third day, some of these settlers are finding it very, very exhausting. They haven't slept properly. The cold is being kept off just about with the clothes that they've managed to gather, but it is going to be a very tough journey. You have an opportunity at this point as you begin to notice at the start of the third day if you want to do anything about that. If not, you begin to travel again on day 3. I'm assuming with your silences, you just get on with it.
Edius has been using. He uses his shield as a spade to help dig.
Yep.
Make sure we got some shelters for people, but they knew what they were getting into.
Yeah, this is absolutely fine. I mean, Tequina is more than happy occasionally to share her snow hole with a few of them, especially sort of on the second day. She particularly sort of chooses a few of them to sort of go down and shelter. The weaker looking ones, really, the ones that look like they can't dig a hole or are not going to survive the night. So you don't know whether she is being sort of soft, but she tries to hide it as best as she can.
Edius is kind of going to be taking the same view. He'll dig a hole that's bigger than he needs to. Make sure some people can get into it, but they've got to walk.
Mm.
They've got to walk themselves.
Yep.
I think Tymenereth will be offering to help people with their snow hole to help them dig it in exchange for a story or a tale from their homeland.
Oh, very nice. Um, it's very good, obviously, and they really appreciate the help. Um, most of the tales and the stories, though, are fundamentally very similar. They all had hardships, and one way or the other, they heard tales and legends of these gardens, and none of these seem to be particularly on the run or running from something. They seem to come from fairly well-to-do families, but looking for something different. It's kind of strange, really. You're not entirely sure that they're going to find what they're looking for. You've been walking for 2 whole days now, and at the moment it's still just this relentless white ice with very little sort of shape. You can see by the start of the third day that in the far distance there seems to be sort of clouds, and as you sort of squint at it, it's probably actually hills, maybe going into mountains, but it's a distance away. So as you begin to move forward, around about middle of the third day, can you all give me perception rolls, please? If you do suffer with sunlight sensitivity,
This would be a disadvantage.
yeah. Very, very sort of average there, which
Consistent.
is consistent. Consistent is good. I just need to actually do the old roll for these, just to. Yeah, fortunately, very fortunately, you notice them. Kind of snowy white creatures begin to sort of stalk the group. It's assumed that between you and your guide there are the settlers, but you see that there are these wolves, these snowy covered wolves that perfectly blend into this terrain, have begun to sort of stalk you. I've just seen that you can't actually see my dice rolls, but chat can. I rolled a 4, which has worked very well for you against that. I don't know whether it's reset everything, but you do. They don't get surprise upon you as you see them. Does anybody want to do anything at the moment? You can only see 3 of them.
Boppet's going to get his spear from off his back. He's just got it currently not moving anywhere, but I've got it pointed at them as my eyes are just going to sort of, with the sunlight, try and just fix on them as I'm staying stationary.
Perfect. So
you set them up with us.
Yeah, I'm just going to share the map now. Sorry. There we go. So between you and Dequila is the settlers. The wolves have managed to get close, but not surprise upon you. They are growling and looking now that you have noticed them, looking to do what they do, which is charge. You wanted to be covering the back, which you are doing there. So do you want to give us initiative rolls, please? As these wolves are going to try and pick off the stragglers. Fortunately, the stragglers are you. So that is everybody rolling. So Boppet, you get to go first.
Lovely. And these things are starting to charge towards us now.
Yeah,
aren't they?
Absolutely. They were sort of stealthing, kind of blending perfectly with the snow. The settlers are kind of it does this automatically. There you go. You should be able to move now. The settlers are in panic. You see that there's no one that is particularly combat trained. You see that Tequina is sort of trying to draw the settlers closer to her.
Cool. So, like I said, look, I've got my spear out already, so I'm just going to start charging towards the number 2 here.
Okay.
As I run up, I'm going to take a leap up into the air, so probably face to face with him and just try and bring down my spear. Obviously, we're still in sunlight, so I'm going to make an attack with disadvantage.
You still hit with disadvantage. Very nice. Oh, heavily damaging it.
I do need to set up an arm attack, which I'll do in a second. But I'm just, as I sort of come down and bring it down its face.
Yeah.
I'm gonna release the spear with one hand and then just give it just like a crack on its nose.
Okay.
With an unarmed strike.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. If you hit it, you will kill it. It
Sure.
has a single hit point left. So if you just give us a quick roll, unfortunately that
So it'll be 3 plus 5, so 8.
8 is not enough as you try to do it, and it kind of snaps its jaws closed. That
Cool.
was you.
Yes.
Did you want to do any
Nope.
kind of other craziness? Because monks.
Just growl at it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, just a little growl for now.
Okay.
That's like a non-strength.
Right. So, Ice Wolf 1 is this one here. Is going to move. It has 40 foot, so it's going to move towards you. And it is going to target you, and it is going to try and roll. And it is a natural 1, missing you completely. Edius, you'd be pleased to know. Then we move to Ice Wolf
Grunts.
3. Ice Wolf 3 is it's gonna. These are creatures. I always feel a little bit mean about doing this, but these creatures have pack tactics, so they do like to gather together. Pack tactics fundamentally means that the wolf has advantage on attack rolls against a creature if at least one of the wolf's allies is within 5 feet of the creature and the ally isn't incapacitated. This makes it devastating as it runs forward and snaps at you. Does a 21 hit? I should have been targeting you.
Yeah, just barely.
Just barely. So it does 7 points of damage, and it causes you to do a strength saving throw, which you succeeded, and you are not pulled down. You'd be pleased to know, to the ground. Then we move to Team Time Meneroth.
Yeah. I think we're rapidly approaching the time where we could just call it
Ty, yes. I would appreciate that.
Ty will see the danger that Edius is in, and he will take a step back, and then he will use a spell slot. So this is an interesting thing for me.
Yep.
On the other side of it. So, and I would like to cast Fairy Fire.
Ooh, okay,
So
interesting.
I need to make me a little box like this, don't I?
Yeah, so yeah, that's perfect. And oops, I've closed the map down because I'm an idiot. But we can get the map back like that quite rapidly. Yeah, so Fairy Fire you can position like that quite nicely. That's going to do that. So you're targeting both Ice Wolf 1 and Ice Wolf 3.
Yeah.
So you go to your little tennis racket, that's it. So 1 success and 1 failure. So if you apply the effect upon it, it means that that wolf will have advantage. Well, attacks against that wolf will have advantage.
Yeah, and then I think he will take another step back towards our guy, Tijuana, using a bonus action.
Yeah.
He will just check I'm in range. Yes. He will shout out to Edius. You have this, my good man. Turn them into things that we can wear. And I will give him bardic inspiration.
Very nice. And just so we know at your level, what type of dice is that bardic inspiration?
It is a D6.
Very nice.
That you can use on one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw.
It's more or less anything other than sort of damage, really, isn't it?
Edius is absolutely feeling the love.
Yeah. Taquina sighs and begins to sort of move away, sort of indicating for everybody else to follow her. Ice Wolf 2 is going to attack Boppet. And we roll this. It is a miss with a 13. And then we move to Edius.
So Edius is going to get advantage if he attacks Ice Wolf 3, I believe. Is that correct?
There's one of them that is most definitely glowing. I believe it's Ice Wall 3. It's a very visible effect. So yes, you attack that, it should automatically roll with
Yeah.
advantage.
We'll be doing that. And if I go to the actions, I should find this great two-handed maul with runes carved on it. And so we'll swing
Oh.
and may use indeed inspiration.
I would very much recommend not getting Pack Tactics yet. So that is going to mean that you are hitting there, and 17 is definitely going to hit.
Which is
So
nice.
give me some damage. Very nice. And I mean, please, this is our very first death in Gardens of Shedaklah. So describe, how do you finish this wolf off?
A strike straight to the head, and just it jars backwards, and the wolf basically flips backwards over its haunches.
Yeah, and it's just crushed. Very
Um,
rapid.
I think because I took a decent hit myself, I may use my second wind, which I believe will be a bonus action.
Yeah, I think second wind you can just do, but we can easily look that up. You can certainly do it. Boom, boom, boom on your turn. Yeah, as a bonus action. Yeah, so it's 1d10 plus, I believe, your level.
So I shall have
Oh,
10 hit
very
points.
nice.
I shall be appearing slightly uninjured. And do you know, I think I might actually I think I might use an action surge as well
You
to have
are
another strike
not
on this
messing
ice
about.
wolf.
You are not messing about.
No,
So retarget it. Well, we'll target the other one.
it's ice wolf 1, isn't it?
It is indeed.
So let's see if we can hit. This is going to be a straight roll, isn't it?
It is a straight roll this time. But that
But I
hit.
feel like I've got my eye in.
Yeah, absolutely. You are not messing around. These creatures are dangerous predators. If they'd got the jump up on you, it could have been terrible. And it's still not over. Um,
Punching hit into its shoulder.
two of these creatures are still up. At any point, they could drag you to the ground and rip your throats out. But that is a fantastic turn for you. Heavily damaging one of the wolves and crushing the skull of another one. Beautifully played. And then we move to Bop It.
Yeah, so a twirl of the spear and then a jab to the ribs.
Yeah, working through that horrible sun snow glare. You hit, and it is easy enough to finish this creature off.
Sweet. Okay, so that, unfortunately that is just out of range for that, but I will start 5, 10, 15, so I can get to there. I will again snarling. I'm just going to start sprinting towards this other thing.
Okay.
And then that's me.
I love the image of you covered in all of these furs. No real sign of kobold anymore, just like this snarling, spear wielding.
I'm essentially imagining Kenny from South Park
Yeah,
as I'm running across.
Absolutely amazing. But this is where it gets scary. I've always said that sort of level 1 is terrible, and wolves are nasty enemies. But this one snaps at you and misses, losing its opportunity. Maybe because it's somewhat sort of dazed by the power of your attack. Then we move to Ty.
So Ty is going to see what's going on, and he will reach a hand out, pointing towards this wolf, and he will shout out, "You are the runt of the litter. I have seen bigger than you in the Feywild," and cast Vicious Mockery.
Wow. Oh, that was so close, a natural 20. This is what always confuses me, but whilst it says failure there, it's not Ty's failure, it's the failure of the wolf as it fails its saving throw, and you viciously mock it for 1 point of damage. Not overly kind of understanding maybe the words, but you do it a scant amount of psychic damage.
Indeed, and it also will have disadvantage on an attack roll if
Yeah.
it gets.
If it gets one. The viewers can see how many hit points it has left now, and it's not a lot. She kind of, again, draws some of these settlers away from the combat on her turn. And Edius, it is your go. You probably are on
Edius
mute. Yeah,
will just hit it.
yeah. Ooh,
Or not.
and you will miss. You swing and try, but it's onto you now. It's kind of backing up a little bit, snarling, sort of snapping. And as you kind of bring it down, you hit it hard into the ice, sort of fragments of ice, sort of splinter upwards as it manages to avoid your attack. Is there anything else you would like to do?
I think I'm all out of cool fightery things.
Yeah, you cleared most of the board though with that, so can't
I
complain.
was pleased with the effect.
Absolutely. So we then move to Boppet as this
Bop It.
little furry hide-covered entity runs towards it.
Yep, and again, I'm just going to go for like a big
Now,
poke in its chest.
just as a matter of interest, do kobolds get pack tactics?
Yes, I was going to say. So I technically have disadvantage because of the sun, but I also have advantage
Yeah.
because I have a. So yeah, it would just be a straight
Straight
roll.
roll now, yeah, absolutely straight roll.
Mm,
Well. That is a straight roll and a half, a critical
Yeah.
hit. Congratulations.
And I'm going to
Yeah,
deal 10 damage.
10 damage, and you
I
destroy.
want, I'd like to sort of like pierce it through its chest, and it actually like comes out of its neck, and then draw the spear and just let it hit the floor.
Yeah, a beautiful kill. And these very dangerous creatures, very rapidly within heartbeats, really defeated. Well done. You see the other sort of 20 odd settlers begin to cheer and clap. This is the first time they've really showed any kind of emotion. They were terrified a moment ago, and to see you three sort of step up and deal with these creatures as efficiently as you did has brought them a new hope as they sort of run towards you and shake your hands and sort of gather around you, really. Taquina, though, or Takana, is sort of ambivalent and just kind of seems to be weighing you up, seems to be watching.
Buana, do we have time to skin these?
I'm going to carry on moving. If you wish to catch up with me, feel free. And she turns and begins to move off again.
We probably want to keep up with her, don't we?
We do. I'm not waiting behind.
Right, let's
The skins would be useful. The meat would be useful. Let's keep going.
I think follow.
You can give me. I'm going to say sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Doug. You go first.
I said following the person who knows where they're going seems to be the wise course of action. And I'll lean into, I think I'm next to Edius, aren't I? And just say, you know what? I think this poncho is lucky.
Nobody bit you.
Indeed.
But for you, Edius, can you give me a survival roll, please?
Yeah, we can do that.
Well, you probably know this both in and out of character anyway, but this is just a indication. Yeah, it's there's something that just doesn't sit right with you with leaving these creatures. You know, it's a source of food where there's little food. It's a sort of potential pelts. You know, these
Yeah, no,
opportunities.
he just is not happy about it,
Yeah,
but he needs to keep up.
yeah. No, absolutely,
He needs to
absolutely.
keep up.
But there's just something that is nagging at the back of your brain that you know, it wouldn't take particularly too long to do this, and it seems such a waste. But keep up you do, um, and the journey does indeed continue. Uh, a number of other days pass. It is relentless and cold. Rations are getting low now, and in between stops, snow holes are dug again. And Turquana is generous enough again to share with a rotating selection of individuals, ensuring that at least some of them get a reasonable night's rest in a professional snow hole. I'm guessing, Edius, you do a very similar
Yeah,
sort of thing.
having seen his fight with the great big maul, the two of you maybe noticed the fact that he doesn't actually use this shield in combat, but it
Oh.
does seem to be quite good for digging holes in the snow. And it conveniently straps on his back.
Very good. So it is during this time, this kind of sixth night, that you have been struggling forward with. You're kind of noticing that some of the settlers are really beginning to suffer now. Without huge amounts of examination, you think that if they're not careful, they're going to have be exhausted. Some of them might be suffering from potential frostbite. And as you have this uncomfortable sort of night, if you can call it night, it's perpetual daytime, rest period, as it were, we'll assume that all three of you are gathered together in the same hole, giving you a chance to discuss your combat. It's the first time that I think you will have all fought together. I don't know if there's anything that you want to share with each other, but it is an opportunity. If not, we will carry on with a new scene.
Oh, that was good. You fought well, little man.
Oh, that was
You
easy.
fought
That
very
was.
well.
That was
That
easy
last
stuff.
strike was a genius stroke.
Well, you know, my clan sent the strongest one of his ear, so you know, you prepare to see more of that sort of stuff. Lots of stabbing, you know, with the right people. But yeah, you know, I think we all did well. You did as well, didn't you? Didn't you, big man? You took down one, gave another good blow to the other.
Ah, even time helped.
Oh well, one does what one can to support friends and colleagues. Those blows you both struck were incredibly impressive. I am searching for the words to note down and record our victory.
Remember to get in there just how well down I struck him though.
Hey,
Yeah.
and remember, he's beating me 2-1 now.
Yeah, I wrote that down earlier as well.
Well, maybe something like, and lo, did the spear of the dragon issue forth into the hide of the wolf, slaying it forever. Something like that, maybe?
Yes, that sounds beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes.
I did notice though that you know the rest of them, they didn't really get involved, did they? I don't think there's any other fighters amongst us. It's just us, isn't it?
I wonder what Tijuana would have done.
Yeah, yeah. It's probably worth us just at least for the meantime until we get to the gardens, just sticking together and making sure that we keep out for ourselves.
Went against everything in my training, in my upbringing, in my everything to leave those wolves behind. They're just too
So
valuable a
tasty.
resource down here. Yeah, tasty. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with a bit of wolf.
No, definitely
But
not. Definitely
difficult to cook though, without some seal or some blubber of a whale to roast it with.
not. It depends what you're into, really. I've never really been too fussed about. If it's cooked, it's cooked. But sometimes
Yeah.
a bit of raw wolf never hurt anyone.
No. You take what you can get down here.
Exactly.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why she wouldn't stop, but I know she wants to get back to the place.
It's
And she's
treacherous,
clearly
isn't it?
taking us somewhere.
Yeah, to the gardens.
Yeah,
Mm.
something like that.
Oh, she'll take us to the gardens. I'm confident of that.
Do you think we'll lose anyone tomorrow?
No, we're big, strong, and tough, aren't we? All of us.
Yeah, these lot aren't though. They're getting to the edge of their limits.
Mm. Well, I'm sure as long as we follow her, then we'll be fine. This is her speciality after all, and what a story it will make when we all arrive at this place. Speaking of stories, Boppet, tell me the wings. What's the story behind those?
Oh, they're a good luck charm. I've been sent here to retrieve summit, and I was given these as a good luck charm to find my way.
Oh,
Everyone's sort of had a pop at wearing them in my clan, and they've always brought good fortune. So it's not gonna work having them on, is it? And it makes me look pretty fierce.
yeah, I would say so. Something here to retrieve something as well. Indeed, a mystery, a story. Well, I'm sure that you will acquit yourself proudly for your people, Poppet.
Thank you. That's very kind of you to say. And when we inevitably do get to the gardens, I can show you what I'm here for.
Oh, yes. Don't tell me yet, though. I like
a bit of
these
suspense.
things. A bit of mystery never did anyone any harm.
Sounds good to me, Chief. So I guess we huddle down for the night and then crack on in the morning, eh?
Indeed, yes. And I think Ty will rest for 4 hours because apparently that's all he needs. And the other 4 hours he will be scribbling down the epic story of our defeat of these wolves.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's dry here, but during these 4 hours, you begin to notice something. You don't need to roll for it, but it's been relatively clear up to now. So clear that you've been suffering with the snow glare, Bop it, even more so. But now you can kind of see out of the small entrance to the snow hole. It's become overcast and snow is beginning to fall. It's become dark, and without the sun, it seems to be getting colder as well.
I'm assuming the rest of us are asleep at this point.
Yeah,
aren't
you're
we?
still sleeping, only
Yeah.
because 4 hours has kind
Yeah.
of passed at the moment.
Well, this will make travel tomorrow more difficult. But it does make for a wonderful story. A big grin will split across Ty's face.
Okay, and you focus upon your chronicles, writing it down, occasionally looking up and noting that the snow is definitely getting heavier, and the snow hole itself is beginning to sort of take in some snow and beginning to clog up a bit.
I think I would try and kind of shovel some of it out while the others were sleeping.
Yeah, you kind of move around. It's again relatively easy to do, but as you examine it more, as you kind of emerge from the snow, or at least pop your head out a little bit, you see that it's coming down really heavy, and it's not atmospheric, cinematic, beautiful snow. This is the start of some kind of blizzard, some kind of the wind is howling past. You just can't feel it in your snow hole. The snow is coming down heavy. You've never really seen a storm such as this before.
I think Ty's probably not seen snow before. The pokes his head out and the wind will hit him and he'll see the snow and he'll be like, oh, this is distinctly worse than all of the stories I've read about snow.
So you clear out the entrance to the snow hole a little bit, but you know that it's going to be a sort of constant job, and it's not just going to be difficult to travel, it's probably going to be deadly to travel in this blizzard conditions. Do you want to give me a nature roll just to see if you've got any idea about the blizzard, or do you want to just pass on that if you've got no real experience with it? I'm fine either way. It's just character flavour.
He is proficient with nature, so if he wasn't, I would have said no. But he is proficient.
Yeah,
So
no, it's absolutely fine.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
But as
No,
we
no, no.
know, the dice tell a story. It's just like, yeah. You know your proficiency in nature knows that this is bad.
Yeah, my experience of
But
nature
it'll
is
probably be all right in the morning, won't it?
It's fine. What could go wrong? Yeah.
Okay, so are you going to wake the others up, or are you just going to sort of clear it out a little bit and go back to your writing?
I think I'd clear it out, and I'd be keeping an eye. And if I thought it got to the point where it'd be difficult to get out, then I'd wake them.
Yeah, it's never at that point if you keep up onto it.
Mm.
If you give it time to sort of settle down, though, it would be not necessarily that you would be buried alive, but you could probably dig your way out of it as well, if you see what I mean. So it's just whether you want to chance it and let it settle into the snow hole itself, or just keep shifting and digging out the entrance.
Yeah, he'll keep shifting and
Yeah.
digging out throughout it, and just sort of muttering the story over and over to himself and changing the wording and just trying to get it right.
Yeah.
Then.
Okay. So it's quite a tiring 4 hours, extra 4 hours for you. You've already had your rest, so it's not an issue. But you're constantly having to do this. Both of the other two of you, Edius and Boppet, you're kind of aware of this movement going on all the time. These snow holes are not massive. You're kind of being disturbed and then doze off, but you do manage to get the benefit of your long rest. But when you both come round, especially you, Edius, you instantly recognise this blizzard as a very bad sign. So you both come into consciousness.
It's been snowing then, time.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been trying to keep the entrance clear. It appears to be quite heavy.
Yeah. Wake me next time.
Oh, okay, of course, yes. Thought you would.
I should maybe have said. I did need the rest, but you've done well keeping the entrance clear. It's going to be a lot easier for us to get out and see who can be saved.
Yes. Well, it was a pleasure. Shall we just check in on everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crack on. It's bloody out.
Edius has got a sort of grim look on his face as he starts sort of trying to figure out whether we can actually see enough through the blizzard to work out where anybody else might have been.
It's going to be treacherous. You don't have a lot of vision. This is a blizzard in full swing. It's coming down almost horizontal. The wind chill is terrifying. You think that some of the snow holes haven't been cleared out, so they are buried. So it's going to be difficult to find them. That's if you could see clearly. You might be putting yourselves at danger, sort of going out there, but that is your choices.
We can't help them if we die. Some of them won't make it.
Well, that's disconcerting.
Yeah. The ice is not bothered at all.
So shall we get out and see what we're dealing with then?
I don't think that's wise.
You just want to wait in here.
I don't know about want. I think the one thing I wanted to do is to be able to help when the snow stops.
Did you hear anyone else like knocking? Or can we hear commotion outside at all?
You just hear the wind and the snow coming down. There's a howling.
I have rope. If I tie myself to one end of the rope and you hold the other end of the rope, I will be able to find my way back here.
Oh, yes, of course. Ty will reach out for the other end of the rope.
Okay.
It goes against my better judgment, but I'm getting soft in my old age.
Do you want to borrow the wings for good luck?
No, thank you. I'll take my shield.
So before
I can't believe I'm even thinking of doing this. One of you stop me.
Well, you're the expert, Elias. If you don't think this is the right thing to do, don't do it.
I don't think any of this is the right thing to be doing. That's the thing that makes it worse. These people shouldn't even be here. They know they shouldn't be here, but now today is the reason that they found that out. And there's no way out. Yeah, sit back down. We'll wait for the snow. We'll save more by waiting for the snow.
Take your leg, mate.
Okay. So with the howl of the blizzard coming down, you constantly having to keep the snow hole clear. It is a waiting game, as you know that maybe mere feet away in a snow hole dug close to you, people are slowly but surely freezing to death. And that is where we will leave tonight's episode. We will rejoin you again very soon. Okay, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you very much to you, viewers, staying with us in chat. Really appreciate you hanging out. I hope you enjoyed the horror of it, and believe me, there's plenty more of that to come from with Gardens. Absolutely, with Gardens. Really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please give us a cheeky follow or subscription. Really appreciate that. In the meantime, I want to say a big thank you as well to all of our players. I hope you enjoyed it, players. It's going to be a challenging time, as I'm sure that you have found out. Do the Gardens really exist? Is it just Is it just a GM's joke on you all that you are you're just going to die in a snow hole? We'll find out rapidly in episode 2, which let me have a quick look. I will believe is Friday the 5th of March. So join us then. In the meantime, thank you very much to everybody. Thanks for the sub that has just come in. I really, really appreciate it. And yes, tomorrow night we go to a much warmer climb. We go north from the gardens to Ionia, our Grecian and Romano Greek setting. So sandals and sorcery, swords and wine, much revelry will be had. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Until we meet again, though, take care. I shall see quite a lot of you over the weekend, one way or another, due to the fact that we are running a ton of games. If you're not in any of the games that I'm running, then check out the stream tomorrow night. Take care, everybody. Really appreciate all of the support, and I hope you are enjoying Untold Chronicles.